What's going on, guys? We're down here in some dark water in the deep in the woods, very snaky territory, and today what we're going to be talking about is survival fishing and kind of show this new product I've been working with for a while, playing around with, and just kind of talk about some techniques and stuff like that of what you can do. Fishing is obviously a very good way to procure protein, because what you're hunting is isolated to a specific spot versus hunting for land animals where you're having to, actually actively search for them, and you have the whole, land area that they could be in. Whereas fish, they're in the water, and it's just easier to find them. So anyhow, but you can see we're down this swampy area. It's very, very snaky down here, so got to be careful. So I kind of want to talk about the gear I'm using right now. This is a Jurassic Fishing reel, hand reel, and what I like about it is it's kind of a self-contained kit, and you can use it for a wide variety of applications: saltwater, freshwater, stuff like that. So you've got a handle. You got a lanyard, so I hook this onto my belt loop so I can drop it easily if I'm, taking a fish off and stuff like that. It's easy to work with. Inside here, you can put all your different tackle and stuff like that. I got different various lures, weights, floats, so different environments. You can put a multi-tool in there, corks and stuff like that. It's pretty deep cavity, so it has a lot of options. These guys have been around for a while. It's O-ring sealed, so it's waterproof and will float, so in case you drop it. These guys have been around for a while. I think they kick-started this product, and you can wrap your line. You can put different leaders on there and stuff like that, so you can wrap leaders inside of there, and it has a place to retain the hook at. So right now I'm running a float and fly on here, and essentially a float and fly is just a cork with a weighted jig, and this is a weighted cork, a crappie cork. You guys that are familiar with fishing for various panfish like crappie and stuff, this cork has a weight on it, so it gives me the ability to cast it pretty well. And then we just have that jig there, so you can use it without bait, you can use it with bait, find worms or bugs, crickets and stuff like that. I used to use the hand reel like this, the Cuban yo-yo reel. You can see this is a little bit smaller in the sense, but basically you work the yo-yo like this. You don't have a way to retain any gear in here. So I think I was the first guy that I know of that wrote about or talked about the Cuban yo-yo. I did an article about it, I think in 2012, and I think I did a video on it in 2013, and up to that point I never heard anybody use it, but I was using these for quite a while back then for various fishing. Just easy to put in a pack and stuff like that, bug out bag. But I do like this rig right here a lot better. So anyhow, let's go ahead and try to catch some fish. And doing kind of a float and fly technique with a jig and a cork. Little guy, but would be survival food. Good red breast right there. And that's a pretty decent size for this little spot right here. That'd be a good survival food. So when casting, you just keep your trigger finger and kind of pinch the line to hold it in place so it doesn't spill off the spool. This end's beveled. And so whenever you want to cast it, you want to kind of swing and then stop in the direction you want to go and release with your hand. Now don't go up, because it'll go up in the air and kind of just stop and go straight out. Like that right there. And I don't have a lot of weight on there, so this casts really well even because of this beveled edge here. So when you're casting, searching for fish, like a survival situation, or if you're just out fishing, you want to do something called fan casting. And fan casting is just how it sounds, is you want to kind of cast like a fan, like start here, 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 and here, until you actually get some bites. And once you get some bites, you kind of target the fish. And you know, maybe they have a bed there, especially for like different various panfish and stuff like that, and you can catch you know, a good bit of fish if there's, you know, a bed. Usually fish like to tend to stick around structure, so any kind of structure, anything that's in the water, like logs or anything like that, they'll kind of, you know, get close to that, because, you know, humans like to get close to things too, so it's just natural tendency. I got this worm right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and thread him on. This will give that action in the water they're gonna like. So. So that's a nice size red breast right there. Caught that on the crawdad. Part of it because the crawdad was eaten, but good looking red breast again. You know, you can use artificials like we did the jig, or if you find worms or crawdad and stuff like that, you can catch fish as well. So either way, you know, the good thing about the jig is that it's something they haven't seen, so a lot of times they'll strike it just out of reaction. Whereas the crawdad or worm gives motion in the water and kind of a scent, so something they're used to eating and feeding on. All right guys, so we did some survival fishing today using this Murray reel right here. You can also use a bottle like we've showed before. It's kind of like the similar situation, like an Nalgene bottle or a metal canteen. But I like the Murray. You could use it to hold water too, to drink if it came down to that. It's compact, great for a bug out bag, great to put in your hiking pack, and you come across a nice spot like this right here. You know, we went hiking down the woods to fish today, but you know, even if we weren't, we'll come across a body of water and you can do some fishing. So anyhow, fan cast to search the fish. You can use jigs. You know, I like feather jigs because they give a lot more motion. Feathers are natural material, so it'll move a lot better in the water than the rubber stuff. And then you can use natural stuff you find, you know, crickets, crawdads, worms, stuff like that works great, and or different types of beetles and stuff like that, anything like that. You want to make sure you use a small hook, because small hooks can catch big fish, big hooks can only catch big fish. So small hooks can catch any kind of size. We caught some pretty decent ones. If we were in a survival situation, that would be a good meal for tonight. 3 of those would be a good meal for you know, 2 people probably. And you know, isolating by doing that fan cast and finding the spot, we found a good, look like to be a bed of shell cracker, red breast. So anyhow guys, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching Black Scout Survival.